You're listening to a Brawl Network production. This is a podcast for the best fans in the NFL.
Are you in the Mafia?
Am I in the what?
It's time for a Bills Brawl podcast.
Second down and 7. Kelly with the time. Touchdown! Bill Brooks.
Allen. Deep shot. Touchdown! On the line to Stephon Diggs.
And Thurman breaking tackles at the 22. Inside the 10. Touchdown Buffalo.
And it is indeed another edition of the Bills Brawl. I am your host, Mike Lindsley. What's going on, Bills Mafia? I have an unbelievable interview planned for you here on this edition of the episode. I am so pumped up to chat with Bills superfan Dick DeGroat. You may or may not know this. Most of you probably do. He's on Twitter at Dick DeGroat, and he's a super fan of the Bills. He does Bills Dad videos. He's known as the Bills Dad on Twitter. His stuff is awesome. It's hilarious. It's creative. You name it. He does it on Twitter. He's got over 9,000 followers, and literally all of his videos get hundreds of retweets and thousands of likes. And he does it all in a perfect bar-type setting. We're going to talk right now with Dick DeGroat, the Bills Dad, here on Bills Brawl. Dick, this is incredible. Thank you for a few minutes. How are you?
I'm doing great. It's great to be with you today.
So I'm going to really highlight, we'll get to this year's team and all that in due time. But really, I want to start off with how the Bills Dad thing, with the videos and the songs and everything on Twitter, when did it start, and what gave you the idea?
Well, it started, it was an accident, actually. It was 2017, the week before we opened up against the Jets. Our kids always come over and watch the game with us, and so typically there are texts going back and forth, who's making what are we eating, and all that sort of thing. And the week before, I'm sitting there, and I just got a little creative, and I thought, well, rather than send them a text, I'm going to make a little song. And I did a parody of Benny and the Jets, and I did Can We Beat the Jets? And I sent it to them as a text, and that was it. My kids know I'm crazy, and that's all there was to it. Well, a buddy of mine saw it on Friday night that week. He said, this is hilarious. You got to put this on the Mafia, do this, do that, and other. And I'm not a techno guy, so I was like, dude, I said, I have no idea what you're talking about. So the next morning, he finally says, look, just put it on Facebook. He says, we'll handle it. And I put it on Facebook, and it went viral that weekend. The news picked it up, and they started calling me Bill's Dad because I was a dad inviting my kids over to watch the game. And they started going, we need another song next week. We need another song. And it just kind of snowballed on me. And we've had a lot of fun with it ever since. But it was crazy the way it started.
No doubt. You get hundreds of retweets. You get thousands of likes. And your video from this past week, it's over 45,000 views on Twitter, so it's remarkable. Do you have a music background?
I have a little bit of a music background. I've always been musical. I was in some bands when I was young, just, the college type stuff. And actually in church, led a lot of worship teams that were phenomenal group of musicians and things, did some great stuff. But now I'm just an old guy with a worn out voice, singing into a cell phone in his basement with no reverb or anything. So it's raw, but I think that's kind of some of the charm of it. Apparently people like seeing an old guy just be goofy.
All right. And the setting that you do it in, that's at your home, like in a downstairs bar, or where is that?
Yes,
okay.
that is a bar right in our basement. My wife was the designer of it, and then Bill's Mafia is taking over decorating it with lots of stuff.
I see. When did you, are you from Western New York originally? When did you first fall in love with the Bills?
The Bills became my team when I was very young. And yes, because I'm from the Western New York area, from the southern tier, a little town called Friendship, New York.
There you go.
My wife and I we both grew up there.
I'm a Bonaventure grad.
Oh, there you go. And so we were high school sweethearts, and
Wow.
so been in the area for a long time, and bounced around the Northeast, but Western New York is our home.
Yeah, no doubt. Dick DeGroat, the Bills dad, with us here on Bills Brawl at Dick DeGroat on Twitter. Go give him a follow. Check out all of his videos on the Bills. Rough week one, obviously. Miami this weekend. What do you make of this year's team so far?
I was numb when the game was done. I was so in shock. I was like, who was that? Because it just didn't look like what I was expecting. I think the team just wasn't clicking. It's like almost like they hadn't found their rhythm, and there were some costly mistakes and things that I was just feeling like I was in shock. But I have a feeling we'll bounce back. Our team is too great. Our coaches are too solid, and we're gonna be okay just fine. Excuse me, my dog's about to bark because my wife is coming back.
Perfect.
But I think they're going to be a solid team. It's just we got to get our rhythm back.
Who are some of your favorite Buffalo Bills through the years?
Through the years, I would have to go back to the Super Bowl years. Mark Kelso was a guy that we got to know personally on the side. Loved him. Also, Cornelius Bennett was just a great player. We interact a lot on social media. In fact, Cornelius Bennett says he wants to do a video with me sometime. So I told him, I said, next time you're in town, let me know. So I don't know if he sings, if he dances, if he what, but I would love to have him get in on one with me. So that whole team from back in the Super Bowl years was phenomenal. We loved following them.
No doubt, no doubt. So if Bennett gets to the bar, you should have him watch the game with you and do like a little Peyton Manning, Eli Manning version of your own with Bennett, and just hit Facebook Live watching the game with commentary.
That would be phenomenal. I have to tell you a little story. I want to talk about Cornelius Bennett. My wife, she's watched football through the years, but she's the person behind the camera holding the cell phone, videotaping all these crazy things. She's learned so much from these songs that she's become a fan and stuff. And I have to tell you, I turned the phone to her one time and showed her a picture of Cornelius Bennett. I said, "Do you know who this is?" And she said, "Yeah, that's Biscuit." Not only did she know, she used his nickname. I tell you, you couldn't be a man more in love than when she did that. It was phenomenal.
Isn't that great? So, do you get to games often, or do you just watch them at home?
We generally watch them from home.
Okay.
It just hasn't fit our budget to be season ticket holders and things. But when this all started, we were so blessed. A lot of fans just started contacting us and saying, "Hey, listen, I've got an extra ticket. I've got a couple extra tickets. You want to go?" And I was like, "Sure." Yeah. So in fact, I got to go with some people to the Snowvertime game against the Colts a couple years back because of that. And boy, what a treat that was to be there for that.
So how long does it take you for a typical video, to prepare for it, to read content, write the lyrics, and you're memorizing this, right? You're not reading it off of a teleprompter, which is the most amazing part for me, and you never slip up. How it must take a lot of time to just prep the segment, does it not?
My wife would differ with you on how many times I mess up the words. She has to put up with all the redos. But typically what will happen is I will wait till after the Sunday game, like I did this week, to kind of get a feel for what happened, what's going on, and where we're going. And so then I have to choose the song. I do have a long list of possible songs because some are suggested by other fans, and I can pull from that. But I've got a lot of songs in my head. So picking the song is the toughest thing. Once you get that, then I just look at the lyrics and begin to change them and adapt them to what's been going on. I usually will have that done by Monday night. This week I happened to get the song, and that night as I'm in bed, I'm writing the song as I'm in bed, and it was done by Sunday night. But then throughout the week, I'm retooling it in my head. So by the time I get to Thursday night, when we usually videotape it, I've got it pretty much memorized. And then hopefully it won't take more than just a few takes, and then we do it.
I just have a couple more quick ones for you. The new stadium, are you in favor of a new one? Where would you like it if they do it,
I think a new stadium is inevitable. That they've got to do something because it's going to cost too much to renovate. I'm not so much in favor of downtown. I just think it's going to be difficult for traffic and tailgating. I think you've got to keep the Mafia in mind. And so I think the idea of keeping it where it's at, or if you're going to go to some other location, keep it where there's plenty of room for tailgating, I think that's fine. I have no choice whether it's dome or not dome. I'm okay either way on that. I am a little discouraged with the idea that they might have less seats. I think that there's a lot of people that love to go to these games. I think we expect that with a new stadium, the price is going to go up anyways. But if you reduce the number of seats, that's even going to drive it up more. And I think for Western New Yorkers, we're not New York City. We're not LA. I think it might become difficult for a lot of people to afford going to games.
Okay, so you are sponsored by PLB Sports. I see the banner in the background of your videos.
Yes.
But does your bar have a name?
We just call it Double D's.
Okay.
Because my name is Dick DeGroat. My wife's name is Denise. So
Okay.
It's Double D fits for both of us, or it's it's for both of us or whatever. So we just call it Double D's. But now it's kind of become known as Bill's Dad's Bar. We had a guy come over one time because we had a gas leak, and he's down there working on the gas leak, and comes up to my wife and says, "Is that Bill's Dad's Bar down there?" And he recognized it from the videos. So we have a lot of fun. We entertain folks coming by. We had the family over. We had the place packed out, having a ball down there.
That's awesome. And you're in Rochester now, the area of Rochester?
That's correct.
Okay.
We live in Irondequoit.
Oh, great place.
Yep, we like it here. Our kids and grandkids are all here, so we enjoy it. And we're not too far from the stadium. It's a little bit of a drive, but it's amazing as we got to know the Mafia through all of this, how many people there are that are season ticket holders that drive 5, 6, 8 hours, and some fly cross country with season tickets. And I'm just like, wow, this is amazing.
Yeah, I mean, the dedication when the team even is losing, and obviously they're good again now, and all the charitable endeavors and donations and all the rest. I mean, I know that every major great fan base can make their argument, but I've been in sports media for about 20 years. I've covered all the sports. I've been in and around locker rooms, met a lot of people, and there might be a little bias to it for me, sure, but I think that Bills Mafia is the best fan base in pro sports, Dick. I do.
I am so impressed with it, and I have to tell you, it's so much more than what the media makes it out to be. They tend to highlight the craziness, just the drunkenness, the goofiness. But there's a lot of great people, hardworking people, just love the Bills, very charitable, very giving. And that's one thing I've got to say with the sponsorship that came to us this past year. I mean, we just got a call on a Saturday morning from the owner of PLB Sports and Entertainment, and with proposing this idea, and we were like, well, this sounds great, because I mean, it not only benefits me because someone's sponsoring the videos, but working with this company, I don't know if you're very familiar with them, but they work with top athletes and entertainers.
Yep.
Not just Bills ones, but other great ones doing food products, and every one of these food products then donates to the player or the entertainer's charity of choice. Yeah. And so it's just a great group of people doing some fantastic products, and so it's been a blast to work with them.
So what is your dream that hasn't been achieved yet with all the the segment and the bar and what you're doing? I mean, is there something that you are thinking that, man, I wonder if I could get Jim Kelly or Thurman Thomas to come here and watch a game, or have a wing party, or what's the dream right now if you could achieve one?
Well, I've never even dreamt about those kind of things because I kind of think they're unattainable for me, but that would be phenomenal. I do have high hopes of meeting Josh Allen and hanging out with him. I would have had the opportunity this past year because PLB Sports works with him, and they had a day where they spent the day tailgating with him, and I unfortunately couldn't make it that day, so I'm hoping they do it another time so I at least get to meet and hang out with them. For me, the dream really is just to join the Mafia in a Super Bowl victory parade, be there there with them screaming loud and all of that. I mean, I already had the song in mind for what I was going to do if we went to the Super Bowl last year, and that one is going to be kept on the books and hanging in there because I think it will work well. But I would just like to see us all finally get that Super Bowl win.
Have you ever thought about what the heck it would be like? I mean, my gosh. I mean, you know, would Buffalo, would the city still be standing, Dick? My goodness.
Oh, it will be one of the wildest parades ever. I mean, I think the joy, there's a lot of, pent-up anxiety for a lot of years for especially the older ones who we lived through those 4 Super Bowls that we lost. Great teams, but we just came up short. And we're just waiting for that one. And I think there is going to be, people in their 90s and people, 10 years old celebrating together, just going crazy.
Would you be able to handle a Bills Super Bowl loss if they made it this year? Just made it?
I would.
Okay.
I've done it before. I can handle it again. Okay. But I hope we don't have to do that.
Final one for you. Are you currently right now? Are you retired? Are you partially retired? What have you done? For work, in your life here, and obviously I know you're working on social media because you're doing these videos every week. But what's kind of been your professional background?
It's bounced around. I started out of college as a tennis professional, teaching tennis professional.
Really?
Yep. And then I followed the family business, which was to become a minister. And so I'm a minister, still am a minister. I have a small church, meets right in my home every Friday night. And cool. So it's great. I do that, but I also work at a golf course. Been doing there for about 20 years, and that's kind of my semi-retirement mode now. I work at the golf course 3 days a week. I still have the church that meets in my home. Wow. And slowing down just enough so that I can, enjoy life with my wife and scream loud for the Bills.
No doubt. No, which golf course is it?
Ravenwood Golf Course.
Oh my gosh, I played there this year for the first time, and just was, St. Bonaventure had an alumni tournament there, Golf with the Bonnies.
Sure.
And I couldn't make it to that, but I did play a few days later, and I was blown away. I've driven by it so many times on I-90, and I said, I got to get there. And so many of my friends have played, so many of my media buddies have played, and I finally did it this year, and man, every hole is spectacular.
It is. It's a great course, and it's a great family atmosphere at the club. They're just good people, and I really love working there.
No doubt. Dick DeGroat, the Bills dad, at Dick DeGroat on Twitter. Go give him a follow. Check out his videos. Dick, thank you a million for coming on. I'd love to have you back, and go Bills.
It's my pleasure. We'll do this again at Super Bowl.